April 2008. A group of young friends are celebrating their last day of work. Little did they know, for some, it would also be the last day of their life. Bar staff at Balmain's pubs are a tight-knit bunch. With the commercial hotel closing tonight, a few have decided to go out partying. So far, it's been a night of drinking and camaraderie. As last drinks are called, this group of 14 friends gather outside the pub. Some have known each other for years, and others are just meeting for the first time. It's closing time, and manager Jean Robson needs to deliver the keys to the new owners across town at Watson's Bay, normally a 45-minute drive from the pub. Like most of the group, Jean has been drinking all night and can't drive. His friend Matthew Reynolds works nearby at a shipyard, so a plan is hatched. They will borrow a small workboat and scoot across the harbour to drop off the keys.
Beautiful.
Earlier that day, across the harbour, 3 mates are heading out for a night's fishing, unaware of the deadly accident about to occur.
Right, let's do it. Let's go get some fish.
He also came along as well. We drove down to Rose Bay Boat Reach.
It was very beautiful, very calm. We used to go fishing mainly to just get away from things, and
it's more about just the friendships and...
About 12 kilometres away, in the harbourside suburb of East Balmain, the mates from the commercial hotel are walking down to the nearest wharf to meet up with skipper Matthew Reynolds and his girlfriend Ashley Ayres, who have gone to grab the small workboat.
Based on what we'd heard, the pub up the road had closed and they were going down to Watson's Bay to give someone keys. So it was a farewell for the staff.
Onto the small workboat, Andre and his mate on the wharf are increasingly concerned.
It was a working boat, licensed for 8.
The boat is overcrowded. The young passengers are too busy partying to notice.
The comments from the wharf were, the most pointed comment was from my mate who was standing next to me.
Matthew has also had a number of drinks, but agrees and takes the helm. 14 friends are now on board the boat that should only hold 8 people. It's the worst decision they could have made.
I watched that boat go out, and this picture sits in my mind till today. That boat.
Also on the harbour, enjoying ideal conditions, are fishing buddies Sam, Nasser and Ahmed.
It was a calm night. It was pretty dark, so we were just joking around. You can imagine.
On the borrowed workboat, the mood is also jovial.
people were.
At 32, Michael Simnadis is the oldest of the partygoers crammed onto the workboat. The youngest is just 18.
So we were just in conversation.
The alcohol is kicking in, and some of the group have also consumed recreational drugs. Skipper Matthew Reynolds has driven this boat many times for work, but tonight he hasn't been given permission to use it.
It was, just a pleasant sort of...
That's where they are, straight over there.
time across the harbour, lines are being prepared on a fishing trawler called Jordan's. It left the Sydney fish markets at Blackwattle Bay only minutes earlier. The timing of that departure will be deadly. Having delivered the pub keys, the group of 14 reboard the small workboat to head back to Balmain, out of the harbour. The workboat picks up speed on its way back, now on a collision course. In a decision that will haunt both men, skipper Matthew Reynolds has let the unlicensed Percy Small take the wheel. In the early hours of Thursday morning, a group of young friends from the commercial hotel in Balmain are enjoying Sydney Harbour. 14 people are on a boat licensed to carry just 8. Most have been drinking and are in party mode. Just a few hundred metres away is a trawler heading out for a night's fishing. Across the harbour,
What was that, guys?
fishermen Nasser, Sam and Ahmed are in their small dinghy when they hear the collision.
Me. Help! And there was no response. I didn't know what was going on. Like someone's in the water, they're calling for it. I started to tread water really frantically and panicked in a state of because I'm also not a very strong swimmer. Sydney, we pulled the anchor up.
You all good to go? Yeah.
And we took off. It's hard to see. Well,
Just over here.
shock and the cold and of the water and just trying to stay.
Michael has no idea of the fate of his 13 friends, but within minutes, emergency calls are made from the battered, overcrowded workboat. Some people may find these calls distressing.
We're in Sydney Harbour, off Goat Island. Stop the boat! We're just colliding with another boat, and they're not moving. One side, I've got blood all in my hands here. Right, people are dead, man. People are dead. Come over.
First responders are immediately dispatched.
There were sirens blaring across.
Emergency services are on their way. But Michael is panicking, drowning.
Help me. I just started to yell.
So we're motoring over slowly towards him. Panic. Oh, maybe I motored over a little bit past him and we missed him on the first go. He started to panic and
Pulled me into the boat.
and it looked like he's
In the pitch dark, it remains unclear whether there are others in the freezing water and where Michael has come from.
My body was pretty much convulsing from just the cold and the pain and the nausea, and I was just laying in a heap in the bottom of this boat.
That's when they see the boat Michael has fallen from.
When we got really close, which had a big gash over knocked on his head, and that's when I started to. And then I looked inside the boat, and you know.
An overcrowded workboat with 14 people on board, has collided with a fishing trawler in Sydney Harbour.
I jumped over and I just looked around. I didn't know who to start with or what to start with, so...
I was on the phone to Triple O's trial.
7 calls are made to emergency services.
And I said, "Can you please help? I need help. I'm panicking here. I don't know what to do." And she said, and she started telling me all.
Racing from the air 20 kilometres away is Dr. Brett Squires, part of the helicopter retrieval team.
The information was there was CPR ongoing on it.
Because it was a much bigger boat, there are no injuries on the fishing trawler. Fortunately, on the other boat, the engine is still working, and the fishermen are instructed to drive the damaged boat with its 14 passengers to Taronga Zoo Wharf, just a few hundred metres away.
And obviously there was the paramedics and the police were waiting for us.
I'm Tony Bear. I was acting inspector on the night. It was...
The retrieval team's helicopter, with Dr. Brett Squires on board, arrives at Taronga Zoo Wharf.
It was obviously pitch black outside, yet the wharf itself was well. They anchored above the spot, and then it was myself and the paramedic were going down on the winch rope, and the paramedic in this case went down with the first pack and the
to treat the ones that could be saved. When you go home and you open your there were so many ambulances parked and so many police parked in this little stretch. It was chaos, and the light.
Jason Morrison's first radio report captures the dread and uncertainty at the scene.
I'm reporting to you from the edge of Bradley's Point Road, the ferry wharf just behind the Taronga Park Zoo. That noise in the background is a low-flying search helicopter. They are looking for, I would presume, survivors, but possibly those who haven't. Now, I can't tell you at this hour exactly what's happened, other than it is a major emergency.
They were trying to be comforted by some of the paramedics on scene. There was 14 people in all.
As soon as the last person who's alive is...
A joyride on Sydney Harbour has turned into a major catastrophe when a small workboat collided with a fishing trawler. 5 young people were instantly killed. Others have critical injuries.
It appears that one vessel has the major damage, and that vehicle appears to have held all the victims.
The 9 survivors are taken to Royal North Shore Hospital. 3 have sustained spinal injuries, and Michael's friend Pondy is fighting for his life with serious head and chest trauma. At Taronga Zoo Wharf, tarpaulins cover the bodies of 5 people, aged between 20 and 32. A few hours ago, they were living happy, carefree lives. As the workboat is towed back to police headquarters, fishermen Sam, Ahmed and Nasser are still assisting police. It's not long before Australia wakes up to devastating news.
Good morning. 5 people have been killed and 9 are in hospital after 2 boats collided on Sydney Harbour. 7 News reporter Robert.
With 6 people now dead, investigators need to determine who is responsible for this devastating accident. Will it be the workboat or the fishing trawler? He had alcohol and traces of cocaine in his system. He was charged with 6 counts of manslaughter. Percy Small, who was at the helm, conceded he was significantly affected by alcohol, cocaine and cannabis. He was charged with 6 counts of dangerous navigating, causing death. Both men received a minimum of 5 years in jail.